Okay, so basically, I wanted to clarify this brush that I mentioned is, as you can tell, it has this sort of a line weight aspect to it, almost as if like you drew each chain line by line, sort of like a comic book. How it has thinner lines further back and then thicker lines forward, and then sort of like that gives the illusion of perspective. Basically, the idea behind the brush texture that I was using was that it has a gradient to tell the program where I want thicker and where I want thinner lines to be. Where I want the thinnest lines to be is this part with a sort of like darker aspect. This is the base of the texture. Um, and then the more pressure I add, the more it starts extending out into this sort of like gradient area. If I take this chain, even just by rotating it around, you can see it's almost looking like it's in perspective already. And then I can manipulate it even further. I can just like put it exactly where I want it to be. And I can exaggerate it even more by taking this and then sort of like bringing it closer to the camera. And then you get this sort of like really exaggerated shape. And basically the settings for this is I want this brush to be the main brush tip. I'm not sure if you can see here, but like that's the chain brush image that I've registered as a material. And then I put it into the brush tip. I enable dual brush, and then I set the mode to color burn. And then this other brush can be just whatever. I'm pretty sure I did any of these work, and you just have to mess around with the settings a little bit. But you can adjust the shape here, and then it sort of like affects the sensitivity of how far you want this to be. You can see here, if I increase the secondary brush shape, it makes the thicker lines be more prominent. And then if I decrease that shape, it makes these lines fade out like slower. As for the texture, even though I use a computer program for that, basically what you could do is come in with the original texture. I set it to like just as a base, and then you go over it with an airbrush, and then just paint over that like lightly so that you get this texture. And then you just make sure to clean up like all the parts where you don't want the color to spill into. So for example, that would be just like the inside of the chain. And then you would just like put in this original texture, but at a lighter value, so that when the two of them overlap, you still get this, so you can still sort of see the original chain through it. And then this is basically what that texture looks like. I just like threw it up like really quickly so it doesn't tile perfectly, and you can see like where the texture begins and where it ends, but it has basically the same effect. And if you just wanted to watch me draw and watch me work on some of my other pieces, I stream mainly Monday, Wednesday, Friday at around 5 p.m. here on TikTok and also on Twitch.